6 amendments to vote on. One of them asks voters to decide whether school board elections should be partisan.
And in Tampa Bay is Aduria Chumba joining us live from Sarasota, where the school board is getting a lot of attention nationally for its political talks. Hey, Aduria.
Hey, Frank, and that's right. Yeah, so supporters of Amendment 1 say having the candidates' political parties listed on the ballot is about transparency, but those against it say that doing that will, instead of placing the focus on children's education, would rather place that squarely on partisan conquest. Now with Amendment 1 on the ballot, calling for school board candidates to identify with their party on election ballots, some say they fear political encroachment on meetings will only get worse.
Amendment 1 is good for no one. It is essentially an attempt to put partisan politics into our classrooms, into our school boards, and that is something no one has been asking for.
Those calling for a no vote on Amendment 1 say if it passes, it would unfairly restrict decision-making for school boards to just voters with a particular party affiliation.
And in a lot of districts where one party is very dominant over the other, the whole school board elections are going to be decided in that closed primary. So families that don't affiliate with that party aren't going to be listened to, they're not going to be talked to, and they will not have the say in their students' education that they deserve.
Nonpartisan candidates are long gone in Florida, Sarasota County.
Supporters say voting yes on the Amendment 1 ballot measure takes care of the transparency issue, which they say comes up every election cycle.
We want to have the voters know exactly, what their candidates represent, what their party is, and it'll offer more transparency, and that'll solve a lot of questions that a lot of voters have about these nonpartisan races.
And just as with all the amendment measures, as well as the candidates on the ballot, you're asked to do your research and make sure you know what the issues are before going to the polls to cast your ballot. Frank?
Great advice right there, Aduria. Before we get you out of there, I want to ask you this. If Amendment 1 passes, what would be some of the immediate impact here?
Frank, because the school board elections are done during the primaries, which is mostly partisan, it could mean that the party with the largest number of registered voters could make all the decisions. Now, for example, here in Sarasota, the registered Republican voters are around 158,000, and the Democrats at 87,000, and nonpartisan voters at 88,000 could theoretically be shut out of the process. Live in Sarasota, Aduria Chumba, 10 Tampa Bay.